Hi, I'm Javaune Simpson and welcome back to Speak Up. Now for today's topic, it's actually stemming from me listening to a song by Bugle, the Jamaican artist Bugle. Yes, so he has a song by the name of Non Compatible, and it's a song that has been out there for years now, but I would have come across it some time ago again, because I would have listened to it again before when I was probably like in high school here about and I not too long ago listened to a little bit of it again just to get back some context of it really and truly, because what I remember that I want to make sure that it's concrete what it is that I'm talking about. So anyways, you would have seen the topic and I want to talk to you about being in love but not being compatible. Most of you probably already know this. It's very much possible for you to like somebody and not necessarily be compatible with the individual. But I want to take it a step further. Can you actually be in love with the individual and still not be compatible with the individual? So because the question is a straightforward one, go ahead and share your comments right here in the comment section. Probably even before you even watch the rest of the video. And then you can actually stay tuned for what it is that we're about to talk about. Much love. Alright, welcome back. So, we're talking about whether or not it is possible for you to be in love with somebody and still not be compatible with them. For me personally, in my very own opinion, I do believe that it is very much possible for you to be in love with somebody but not be compatible with them. And I would have done some research by just being the third party and actually observing other persons who are in relationships, and you realize that there is perhaps some qualities consistent with being in love, right? And you realize that despite them having such qualities or such things that are really commendable as regards to them being in a relationship, you realize that perhaps they're not necessarily compatible with each other. And in order for us to go even deeper into the conversation, we then have to discuss what does it even mean to be compatible with an individual. And I want to break it down in the simplest of terms, right? You, as an individual, whether a male or a female, might have certain likes or dislikes. You might have certain traits about your very own self that might not be the best match for somebody else out there who might have traits or likes or dislikes on the far end of what it is that you like or dislike. Let's give an example. Let's say, for example, I love fast food and I'm all about eating fast food. The other person on the other end loves cooked food and they're all about cooked food. As a matter of fact, they take it a bit further and they might tell you that on some weeks they want to eat straight vegetarian meals, right? Now, you two might very well be able to make that work if it is that you two are able to rationalize why is it that you like this, and not even just why it is that you like it, but be able to talk about it in the sense that, alright then, I realize that you don't like this as much as I like this. What are we going to do? We're about to get married, we're about to live in the same household. Is it that we're going to cook separate pots? And then again, is it that we're going to prepare a meal for you who like cooked food, and I'm going to purchase whether it's fast food or whatever it is that I feel for, whenever it is that I feel for it. How will it impact our finances? Because sometimes persons want to eat cooked food because it is perhaps cheaper, right? And not just particularly healthy, but cheaper for them, and so they choose it because of that. Then you have some persons who choose it because it's healthier, it's a healthier choice, right? So will you be able to coexist, right? Because some persons, as I said, they can't take foolishness, right? So some persons might consider it to be foolishness that they want to eat fast food for the rest of your life, right? And that might just not work out for both of you, right? Being in a romantic relationship, being boyfriend and girlfriend, yeah, very well might work out because you're not eating around each other consistently, right? But when it is that you get married, then you're expected to be in the same household and actually eat from the same pot, probably, right? And it might be something that the person gets tired of, right? Even on both sides, gets tired of. Whether the person who loves to cook food gets tired of the fact that they have to be, let's say, what should I say? Probably they have to cook their own meal because it's not as if you're interested in it, so they end up cook it. Or they cook it, but they realize that it's probably annoying them that you're not eating a healthy meal, right? Because people are health conscious, believe you me, I've come across some that if you're not eat healthy, a problem, because they want you to eat healthy and they're going to consistently remind you say, yo, you're not eating healthy, right? So anyways, moving on. So that might be one of the issues. As simple as it might become a big issue in a relationship. Then let's say something like as a guy, let's say let's switch it up. Let's say you like to dress up well hot and all them things there, and spice bread or spicy chips when you walk out through the door, right? And people are like, you can hold up on a bread there, right? And then the girl that you are so in love with, right? She's just like, she's just blank. I don't mean blank, but I mean like she's just blank in terms of her way of dressing, right? She doesn't necessarily care about what it is that she wears, right? So she just dresses up in anything sometimes, and you might find it to be like, alright, fine, that's cool, right? Because I'm bringing the sauce for both of us in the relationship, right? But then eventually it might get to you, whether it is that it's because of outside noise, outside of the relationship noise, people keep gossiping and saying, boy, I'm just nice, but want to she just let go herself. So, because people make things better than when it's supposed to bother them. But anyways, moving on. So let's say because of outside noise, or even because of your own analysis of the situation after a couple of years into the marriage, you realize that, it's not working out, honey. But that's who she is, right? That's who she is, and perhaps she would have compromised in several different areas of her life, and so she's holding on to this one thing because this one thing helps to define who she is or who she thinks she is, and so it might become problematic. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about not being compatible. And I mean it can get deeper, right? But I'm trying to make it as simple as possible, and I give you like 2 examples there. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about not being compatible. And so you realize that persons can not be compatible, but at the end of the day they can very much be in love, because what is it that makes them uncompatible? What are the things that are causing the issues? Is it something that I don't want to regard it as being simple, but is it something that isn't as major as, let's say, for example, I'm going to use it, right? It's pretty major, but let's say, because I've been in the getting to know phase with persons before, and I realized that they don't want to have kids, right? Then you in your head know, well, we want to have about 6 youth. You think to yourself, so how does that work? Because you want 6 youth, right? Right? And some persons might be like, but you can compromise, you can just adopt. I'm all for adopting. As a matter of fact, that's one of my personal goals in life, that when I get married and I have my own kids by the end of God, I will have at least one child that is adopted. However, not everybody might want that, and even if somebody wants that, quite often you find that persons want to have at least one child that came from their seed, so to speak, right? Or came from their egg, so to speak, type of thing. Right? And so if it is that you deprive them of that, because sometimes persons have that as a lifelong dream, they have their own youth in them, where they look like them, when somebody look by you and say, you're dead stamp your papa, right? They want to have that little thing there, they don't want you say to somebody that is not theirs, you're dead stamp your papa, and then there's an awkward moment between all three of you, like, technically it's not necessarily my papa, my father is not my papa. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense to you. Anyways, moving on. So these things might be major things in terms of wanting to have a family created the natural way, through reproduction between the two, I don't know if I'm trying to say that, but between the two of you, right? Then you might have the other person on the other hand. Oh, let me give you something simpler. Your girl like enough pink, and you don't like enough pink, and she want to turn the house in a pink house. You get what I'm saying? And perhaps that's something that can be compromised on, because I love pink. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not the person to wear it, right? I'm not the person to wear it. Other than the pink ribbon for breast cancer month, shout out to all women out there, and every survivor of breast cancer, of course. Moving on. Anyways, I'm actually in the month, right? So anyways, moving on. So I will show support by wearing pink items, but I don't wear pink overall, right? I don't know if that will change in the future, because it's not something that I'm hard and fast on. It's just something that I've hold as my position for quite some time now, and till even now. Anyways, moving on. So let's say she want to make the house pink, and I like pink, right? That's something that even me myself, I'm willing to compromise on. Alright babes, you can choose a couple of the walls you may want pink up. But guess what? Not all of the walls are going to get pink, alright? So don't pink up the kitchen, don't pink up the bathroom, don't pink up. You know what I'm saying? And please do not pink up the room that we're going to stay in. You can make probably half of the wall pink, but not all of it. Do, right? Do. I don't want to wake up and feel like me no want Dolly House or me no want cartoon or something. The pink can be quite lovely, especially certain shades of pink, Alright, anyways, moving on. So those are perhaps things on the simpler side of things, and so you might find that person might find that they're not compatible because of those reasons. But for something as simple as colors, the relationship will very much work. But when it comes down to persons actually having children of their own, right, that might be something that might very well cause a problem in the relationship. And what are you going to say? You're not in love with each other because they can't let that on. That's not true. Persons do have goals, dreams, aspirations in life, right? That sometimes are linked to particular things. And so because they have them as a part of their goals or their aspirations, especially if it is somebody who loves to be organized, who loves to plan ahead and love to have things go according to their plans. I mean, and it doesn't mean that they're not godly, because I've come across godly people who still love to have a lot of things going according to their plans. I think as human beings, that's how we are generally, right? We want things, we make a plan and we want things to go according to that plan. I mean, some of us might really no business whichever way it goes, as long as we are going to eat at the end of the day, but it's understandable. So I won't judge or criticize somebody for that, right? So anyways, so that's something. So that's one of the reasons why I said to you, it is very much possible for us to be in love, but still not compatible. And you have various other things that can render you not being compatible, right? And these are things that you have to think about before you get into a relationship, before you get into a serious relationship. You cannot devote yourself to a serious relationship and not be sure whether or not it is that you're compatible, right? You have to set up yourself for heartbreak, right? You have to set up yourself for miserableness in your household, right? And I've seen where persons have tried to make it work, and then you realize that it doesn't bear much fruit. There's a fruit. Oh, I love it. I'm gonna try to twang the fruit. But anyways, you realize it hasn't been as fruitful as it perhaps could have been, right? And so because they're just both trying to compromise. I'm all about having a little compromise in relationships, because that's how some relationships will work, right? Some great relationships have been built on some grounds that have some compromise in it, and nothing is wrong with that. But you can't compromise the whole relationship. You have to set up yourself a problem, as I said before. So with that being said, that's what I have to say. For the most part, for now, as regards to being in love and not being compatible. But again, let me know what it is that you think about it, because all of us, we look at things differently. Perhaps you are like Javaune, you can't be in love and not be compatible because I don't know. Perhaps you have a different definition of what being in love is, right? And so you might disagree on that basis. So let me know in the comment section, please. Share the video with somebody because that you like the video to that extent, or you want to share the conversation with somebody, so you want to hear their views on it. Alright, share it. And go ahead and like the video because that you like the video. If you don't like the video, if you didn't like the video, then go ahead and do that thumbs down. Yeah, that has been it. And so I'll tune out right now. This has been Speak Up with Javaune Simpson. Much love. God bless.